Hi, and welcome again to another edition of Market Analysis for today, December the 12th. I'm Giovanni Benacour, analyst, trader, and educator with Vantage Markets. Well, it is Monday, another week, and central banks in the US and Europe will move on interest rates this week with expectations for half percentage points increases from the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, the Bank of England, and Swiss National Bank. All will be announcing their decisions amid a big week for fresh inflation data. On Tuesday, tomorrow, the U.S. Consumer Price Index is expected to show inflation slowed over the month and year ending in November. The core inflation, which excludes food and fuel prices, is expected to remain the same as October's 0.3% gain. Anything anything different than this, that inflation is expected to have slowed over the month. If we don't see that, well, we'll be seeing some movements to the downside, obviously, on the indices per se. Anything that is better than expected, we'll see the movement on the index to the upside. So that will be the norm, supposed to be the norm. Now, in the UK, monthly inflation reading is going to be on Wednesday, which is expected to show it slowed to 10.9% for the year ending in November, from 11.1% in October. Now, later in the day, U.S. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell will hold a press conference after releasing the decision on rates. European central banks are also raising rates. The Swiss National Bank is expected to raise its rate by half a percentage point to 1%, while the Bank of England is expected to move to 3.5% and the ECB to 2.5%, according to FactSet. Also on Thursday, the Census Bureau will release retail sales data for November. The expectation is for consumer spending to be flat from October, while sales excluding autos are seeing a gaining of 0.3%. Both figures rose 1.3% in October. Now, investors expect interest rates in the U.S. to peak in May at around 5%. The so-called dot plot of projections by the Fed officials will show where they expect rates, inflation, unemployment, and economic output will be for the next few years and long term. So that will be giving us this week, and it's going to be a nice week of movement. So we're looking at the NASDAQ, and per se, in technical analysis, there's one conundrum that says that we can foresee or we can forecast the next following week after Friday's close is projection. What will be the consensus of the market's direction? We have to, what we are doing is look at where the market closed on Friday and where it opens today. So the market obviously closed to the downside on Friday, and today it opened on the upside. So far, the market will open in about 25 minutes in the United States. We can then project the typical price for the week, having a reading on Friday's high, low, and close. We add those numbers and then we divide them by 3 and we get the typical price. And that typical price can be used as a pivot point for the market, for us to use it as either a dynamic support or a dynamic resistance level. It acts as a magnet per se. Price could fluctuate around it. So I did that, and it gave me 11,601.79. So that number will be, that value will be the point where the market will most likely will probably pivot around. But obviously we're coming in on a very, very volatile week, expecting a lot of that on the market. So let's see if that holds water. So far we are looking for the market to open. It opened so far. You're looking to the upside. It's fluctuating to the downside so far. Let's see what happens when the market does open. As far as for the S&P 500 as well, we opened the upside, and let's see if we could make another attempt at reaching 4,000. As far as crude oil goes, I had $70 as my support since last week. I'm holding that level. For crude oil, I have 71.63, the typical price for crude oil. So that could act, since the market is below it, that's going to act as a resistance. The RSI almost dropping into being oversold anyhow. As far as NatGat goes, well, it sure did open up the upside. It's closed on the upside on Friday, and it sure did open up on the upside today. We'll be looking to see if the market comes out and closes this gap or midway towards it, and to favor another longs. Then we have gold. Well, gold closed on the upside. It opened to the downside today, so we could probably see some retracement from this movement to the upside we saw last week. So let's see if 1780 will be that point of support for gold. As far as silver goes, well, it did open to the downside. It closed on the upside to the up. It closed higher on Sunday, on Friday. Today it opened lower, so we could probably contemplate that the silver will probably trade lower for the week. Then we have copper. Copper closed lower to the downside. It opened with a gap. It kind of closed that gap already, so it's already trading lower. 370 is my support, so favoring shorts. Bitcoin is just really flat, waiting for some more news out of the market. Let's see if Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried will testify before Congress, as he said he would, but it's not going to be in presence. He will probably do it over Zoom. So let's see if that will bring some more pressure to the downside on Bitcoin. The euro is looking to move higher. 106 is my resistance. As far as the dollar index continues to lower, it will probably reach that. RSI is almost entering overbought territory. Pound, the same token, whereas RSI is the same levels. So we could probably see this is a nice move to the upside. 124 will be the resistance. As far as it goes, as the dollar index is looking to trade lower, 104 is to the low that we need to take out or revisit and see if we can take it out. But that will be the case. It is pushing lower the dollar index, so that will be way for us to see what happens at the open. Well, those are my levels for today. I wish you a fantastic trading day, and I'll see you tomorrow.